and here we are again for another episode of History and Truth. We are doing the 8-part series of the War of 1812 in the Niagara. We are here at Fort George at Niagara on the lake. Today we are by Mark Rom of St. Catharines. Our cameraman is Andrew Morris of Toronto, and here is Jeff Miller from Guelph. The War of 1812 was a conflict fought between the United States and its allies and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland and its allies. It began when the United States declared war in June 1812 and ended in a stalemate when the peace treaty agreed to earlier was ratified by the United States in February 18. The war ended in a draw. Both sides were happy with the outcome as the war ended, although indigenous nations are generally seen among historians as the real losers. Historians in Britain often see it as a minor theater of the Napoleonic Wars, while historians in North America see it as a war in its own right. From the outbreak of war with Napoleonic France in 1803, Britain had enforced a naval blockade to choke off neutral trade to France, which the United States contested as illegal under international law. To ban the blockade, Britain pressed merchant sailors into the Royal Navy, including Americans. American sentiment grew increasingly hostile toward Britain due to incidents such as the 1807 Chesapeake Leopard affair. The British were similarly outraged by the 1811 Little Belt affair, in which 11 British sailors died. Britain supplied arms to Native Americans who raided European American settlers on the American frontier, hindering the expansion of the United States and provoking resentment. Although the debate on whether the desire to annex some or all of British North America, Canada, referred to as manifest destiny, contributed to the American decision to go to war, the reasoning for invasion was mainly strategic. President James Madison signed into law the declaration of war after heavy pressure from the war hawks in the United States Congress. With most of its army in Europe fighting Napoleon, Britain adopted a defensive strategy, with offensive operations initially limited to the border and the western frontier, with help from its Native American allies. Federalist opposition to the War of 1812 in the United States affected its prosecution, especially in New England, where it was referred to as Mr. Madison's War. American military defeats at the Siege of Detroit and the Battle of Queenston Heights thwarted attempts to seize Upper Canada, improving British morale. American attempts to invade Lower Canada and capture Montreal also failed at Chrysler's Farm and Chateauguay. In 1813, the United States won the Battle of Lake Erie, gaining control of the lake and defeating Tecumseh's Confederacy at the Battle of the Thames, thereby defeating Britain's largest Native American ally. This was a primary war goal.